Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and I'm going to do my best to stay smiley and happy, but this is going to be one of those videos where you're going to see from the start pretty much that I'm going to be trying my hardest to stay balanced, and you do need to know from the get-go, like, I am disappointed about this case. So if you're trying to decide whether you want one or not, it is definitely going to be one of those times where you want to watch it all. If you love the times when the passionate Tom comes out, you're definitely going to want to watch it all. But I do want to say from the get-go, I've always had a huge love for Cooler Master. It's only, and why's the courier's got to turn up now? That was going to be a great start. Okay, courier delivery. So up until recently, I've always had a Cooler Master case on my desk. For those of you out there that have been around since the dawn of time with me, you'll also know that my Orca build was in a striker, and I still have it. So I'm a big fan of what Cooler Master is capable of, but they are capable of way more than this. Now I do also want to put in really quickly, yes, they are capable of more than this, and I know there is more than this coming. So there are positive signs on the horizon that I am personally quite excited about. But I do feel like Cooler Master need a mind-blowing product that is going to clear the shelves and then not going to be able to make fast enough. And the Master Frame in this guise is not that. And I'm going to explain to you why now when we get inside. Okay, so the whole idea with the Master Frame is it is all fully customizable. Meant to be for us at home as well, but obviously for Cooler Master as well. Now, up on the corners here, there are these three-way pieces. This can be all dismantled. So effectively, if Cooler Master wanted to make the case a lot longer, they can do. They just add in longer top bits, obviously a new window, because you'll need a longer window, but it is available for them to make taller, longer, shorter, fatter. Like, there's so many bits that they can do with it, but there are a lot of inherent problems because of that. But to start off with, what I'm going to do is approach this like I would do a normal case review, and then I'll discuss a lot of the issues and my thoughts about it at the end. So front and top, power button, a couple of USB-A's, USB-C, combined headphone microphone, reset. Very basic. You do have an activity light for the hard drive, which does flash. This would be one of the things that if this was on my desk, I'd have to disconnect this because it does light flash in the room and stuff. It just wound me up. But you can remove the top panel really easily, which is all good. And then you've got the mesh here. If you do want to remove the mesh, then you do have to take all of the screws out around the side so that you can do it with ease. You can pull it out, but you're gonna mangle it. And you can see I've already put a fold in it. So really the screws are the best option without wrecking it. But you don't have to. I just do want to clear that up. The roof, you can see that we've got an awful lot of screws around the outside, or holes around the outside, and that is how the whole design is made up. And it's because it's meant to be customizable and you're meant to be able to adapt it. If it does scream a bit Cosmos to you, then stay tuned because it gets worse. But the fan mounts you can move round because you can effectively have any plethora of combination of fans in the top. There are, they've got 200s mounted here, or marked here, 140s and 120s in this guise, but you can move them around to put other ones in there as well. To be able to mount the top, there is magnets there, which means we've got steel bits in the top, because predominantly the material used to manufacture this case is aluminium, and amazingly the aluminium is part of the problem, which I will get to shortly. Now we'll whiz around, and you can pull the front off as you would the roof. I believe you can actually take the IO from the top and put it in the front if you want as well. It does look like it would probably still fit in, but it's something that you can configure and mess around with. You might not be able to run the 140 fans. Now I've got the non-RGB ones, which means I've got the 140 sickle flows. They're like 2,400 RPM, and you'll see in the performance later, these actually do a good job. Very noisy, but they do a good job. Again, you can move the mounts around. You can have lots of different fan mounts in here, 120s, 140s fitted. You can see that you can get a 420 radiator in the front. It's pretty much the same in the roof if you don't have the IO shield on it. Which means that if you did want to get rid of the IO in its completeness, if you wanted to, you'd need to be able to buy a new roof panel or front panel so you can put it on the roof. And this is a problem because all of these parts aren't available yet. And it is meant to be customizable. We are meant to be able to buy these parts. We are meant to be able to make this our own. It's part of their branding. Make it your own. And you can't yet. You can move this Cooler Master logo. It is underneath here. There is a screw underneath the mesh. If you don't want to ruin the mesh, like I've said, because you can just pull it out, but you're going to fold it, you're going to ruin it. There are lots and lots of screws around the outside that you have to do to be able to move it. But like I said, you can just pull it out and it will come out, but you're going to fold it and ruin it. So lots of screws all the way around the outside to be able to get that privilege. What it does mean though is that Cooler Master logo just there. If you want, you can put anywhere you want. You can put it on the side. Obviously you can't put it on the glass unless you stick it, but you can move it to the place of your own choosing. As I have said, with the feel of the case, as you can see, there are lots of screw mounts and stuff all over the place so that you can customize, move, lengthen, shorten, like the world is your lobster. Spinning round to the back, more of the screws all around the outside because you can tip this upside down back to front. You can move the motherboard tray around, you can move the motherboard tray up and down, you can take the power supply section and put it at the top and the other way round if you want. That means you can have your motherboard in a normal configuration with the power supply at the top, or if you really want to get funky, you can turn them both around and you can have the inverted. There's lots and lots of options. 120 fan only in the back though. The case isn't wide enough for a 140 here. Power supply you can have either way up, that's just going to help you, and that's kind of normal anyway. But moving around the back, we have the rear panel. There is the mesh again, but thankfully look, much easier removal of this mesh. Why didn't they use this method on the front? They're just push clips. You could have had it like this and much easier than all of those ones. Right, okay, so rear panel. It's exactly the same size as the front panel with the glass. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I like to show off the back of my case, so this for me is a really good thing because I can get the glass from the other side, move it to this side. Amazing. Went onto the Cooler Master website. Got to be able to buy side panels, haven't I? What happens if I drop one? Nope, there's nothing there. So despite it being customizable, none of the customizable parts are available yet. Okay. So when we look from this side, you can see all the screws, the bracing. It is all movable, but it's such a fiddly build, it's annoying. So I'm just going to show you with my finger here for just quickly, and I'll zoom you in a little bit just to kind of make an extra point of it. But straight up here from the power supply cover area, you have the cut for your 24 pin. So for me, I want my 24 pin to come straight up and then be able to go round and out my doors. So move this here, up here, and suddenly there's a big ledge here. So then I looked at it and I was like, but I'll be able to move this across because it's not going to be in the way. The case is fully customizable. Nope, this is a support bracket for the motherboard tray. So this part here, that bit can't be moved. So you have to bring your power supply cable up and around to then be able to poke it out. So you end up with this big kink in it that isn't necessary. They could have just cut section out of it or moved that part of the metal over here so that you could have had a straight line for your cable where you're going to want it. With the BTF boards, you're going to have connectors here. You're going to have connectors here. I don't want that piece of metal there. So straight away, I need to now cut it up. I need to take a chill pill. Woo-sa. Woo-sa. Okay. Also, I have to say, like, the Meccano approach. Come on, Cooler Master. I mean, this could have been made by anyone. Like, this could have been genuinely just any manufacturer on the planet. But what it is clear that you've done is you've taken the old Cosmos from years ago and you've tried to build a case around that footprint, because this is Cosmos. This is old Cosmos, dated Cosmos. This not new at all. Like, the designer basically went in, photocopied some pages out of the Cosmos and then made a slightly different external frame. So to me, it feels like the only thing that's been designed has been this section here. So this extrusion has been designed. The corner part for the extrusions to put into has been designed. Not a great deal else, because it all just feels really old and dated and very 2016. And it doesn't get much better. When we come round to the business side of the case, I think I might have been zoomed in on that whole section. It hasn't really mattered. So basically what I was saying is this extrusion has been designed and the corner bit has been designed. That's what I was saying. I think that was outshot. I'm not going to refilm it because it's just going to make me even angrier. So power supply cover to hide all your power supply cables and keep everything tidy. Yes, right. So then what they did was left a massive gap at the bottom of the motherboard tray so that all the cables that you poke through are going to be visible. There's no grommet there. There's no nothing. Everything that connects into the bottom of your motherboard is going to be visible, unless you've got one of the few motherboards with the extra connector on the bottom of it. But then you can't actually fit an XL ATX board without removing the tray here, because you can't move it over anymore. You'd have to remove this this hard drive cage over here. Yeah, look at the hard drive cage, like, it doesn't get any better. So we'd have to move a lot. Like, so all you've got at the bottom there is effectively a gap where you can see all the cables be poked up through. I've got to say though, this has been designed for high-end builds. It's meant to be the point of the case is high-end builds, which is why they've made it out of aluminium rather than steel. High-end builds. That is not a high-end build, boys. Being able to see cables like that, there's not even a cover in the box. You've not released any extra parts that you can purchase or 3D print or anything. It's just not good enough. Like, there is nothing about this case that is high-end other than the price, weirdly, because you made it out of aluminium. But this cage here, on the side, I'm going to zoom out so that we can get a better look at it. So this can be removed if you want to put a radiator in, which is lovely, because I would want to remove this because this is your hard drive cage. So you can see all of these holes all of the time if you leave it fitted. Yes, I'm not joking. So the whole idea here is if you have hard drive fitted, they are here. Now, for those of you out there that want to make a statement about your hard drives, brilliant. Most of us hide them though. Like, we mount them out the way. Gone are the days of having 2.5-inch hard drives on display. We put them around the back. We have them nice and tidy. We don't want them in the bulk of our build because we can see all the cables. Half of the point of a high-end build nowadays is having nice, tidy cables kind of hidden away. We don't want a plethora of hard drives clacky in a way over here. It just doesn't make a great deal of sense. A lot of it doesn't make a great deal of sense, but this can be moved around with the motherboard tray. So if you move the motherboard tray down here, this section can get flipped and mounted in the top. This can all be readjusted along with it, which is one of the reasons why I said about an XL80X case. If you wanted hard drives, you couldn't have an XL80X motherboard because you wouldn't be able to move the grommets over. You just have to remove it completely. Right, okay, so do you know what? I'm just going to crack on because I do just need to get to the conclusion. You don't need 45 minutes of saying it's not good enough. It isn't good enough. Pricing, £169 as it sits like this. I'm going to say the price is because for high-end builds, it's not a high-end build case. You'd have to be off your rocker to put $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 worth of money into parts in this case. It is going to be a project case at very best. It is not a volume case at all. It feels too dated. This literally feels like a small case manufacturer that's tried to make a case do everything and has done nothing properly. But instead, it's a massive case manufacturer that has tried to make a case do everything but nothing properly. I do want to say, I know where this is going. I know the end goal for it. And on the surface, it all looks amazing. That is never, ever going to be amazing though. It is such a shame. I do genuinely get the thought process from it, but if this case was launched when the Cosmos, the design was ripped off from, was launched, it probably would have done quite well. It definitely would have fit in a lot better. But for the cases that you can buy now that look amazing, okay, you can't move them around and stuff on the inside is easy, but for the cases that look so amazing and are cheaper than this, I don't understand why you would end up buying it. Now, yes, sure, there are going to be people out there that are going to want one and like it, but those of you are going to be very, very minimal compared to the rest of us. Now, I have got an amazing imagination and I can see stuff to do with this case, but generally, when I like a case and I want to chop it up and make a million things for it, it's because it's really bad. And I kind of don't want to chop this up because I actually wouldn't want to spend the time on it. First problem is, it's being marketed as for high end. This is not for high end at all. Like, this isn't going to be deemed as viable for high end. Second problem, the price is massively overpriced. £169, it looks like it should be £79. And that's really the other thing, is the design itself, because it's aluminium, is really expensive, but they should have made it out of steel and made it critically cheaper. Because, and like I said, I know where this is heading, but this version of it, the entry version of the master frame, is too expensive. This should have been £80. It looks like an £80 case. It should have been a lot cheaper. Now, I know they've got a curved version coming with glass all the way around. Well, this side, which is pretty much what everyone kind of wants at the moment. They've got a crazy version with glass all the way around. That's going to be amazing, but the internals are still going to be limited by that point. And I can't talk too much about that because, like I said, I'm kind of reviewing a product that's not even here yet, but it's not very far away. What? It's it had promise, but with things like the bottom of the motherboard tray, things not being able to be moved, big holes everywhere, Meccano, it's not particularly graceful, is it? So what I'm basically going to leave it as is it's too expensive, the design is far too basic, like genuinely far too basic. They had better team members to have been able to have done stuff like this, they really did. They need to start listening to people at Cooler Master as well, because I know some of the people at Cooler Master so very, very well, and I know they wouldn't have liked this. Like, it's just bonkers. It needs to be a lot cheaper, and for a case that's meant to be customizable, it's come to the market and there's nothing available anywhere. I can't buy a window panel, I can't buy a top. So you have to want this case looking like this at that price and think to yourself, well, I'm just going to move some bits around. If that's you, then cool. It's definitely not me. I'm really disappointed about it. Like, I'm really disappointed about it, because if they don't get their act together, and I mean it, if they don't get their act together, I don't think they're going to be with us much longer. So the next couple of iterations of this could be make or break for Cooler Master.